What's on YouTube? It's PTT coming at you with another Division video. And today, guys, I know some of you have been waiting for it, so I bring you part 2 of the Firecrest Tactician build, okay? We're actually going to delve into the build today. I'm not only going to show you how to build it, I'm going to show you how to use it and mid-max it as best as you can. So, without further ado, guys, let's go jump onto my character and see what is what. So here we are, guys, we're on my character right now. So, as you can see, I am indeed running 3-piece Tacticians, 3-piece Firecrests. So, we'll start off with the chest piece. We're going to cover the base stats on the gear first. Then we're going to talk about how you actually kind of mid-max it, make the most of a couple of other things that will also help you out. So, first of all, the chest piece. So, this is sitting at 1713 on stamina, okay? Now, this is, I believe, the only piece of gear that I have rolled specifically to stamina. My holster are all 3 stats. Everything else is rolled to electronics. Now, you're going to want to make sure that you maximize the armor roll on as much of the gear as you can, okay? Because you're not rolling too much gear to stamina, you are going to be very weak. If I quickly jump over to my survivability, you will see that my maximum health is 150,000. Armor mitigation is only at 51%. Now, that is quite low. I'm sitting at about 57% on most of my other builds. It could be maximised a little bit more, but there are a few reasons that I can't hit that cap quite yet. So, back to it then. Chest piece rolled to stamina. Now, because I'm using this for PvE, then I suggest your major attributes do not change from any other build guide I have shown you in the PvE way of things. So that is armor as a major attribute and damage to elites. Now, the minor attribute here is increased kill XP. I would prefer that to be ammo capacity, but you know, it's not too much of a big deal. I can live without it. Moving on to the mods, I am currently running a stamina mod with 254 armor, and I am running one with exotic damage resilience. That is because I don't have any more on this character with armor. Now, I do have them on my main character, so that would of course take me up to about the 54-55% armor mitigation mark, taking me up to about 320,000 toughness. But you know, I like to create a test builds on a different character than my main. So yeah, make sure you're rolling armor on all your major stats as well, guys. When we look at the mask then, okay, this is where we start with the electronic roll. So 12, 21 electronics. I have 9% damage to elites, 8.5% enemy armor damage. The reason I have rocked major attributes and minor attributes here as enemy armor damage, damage to elites rather than skill power is because I want to take them down quickly. Now, I'm only sitting at 225,000 skill power, whereas my boy Sage is sitting at about 250,000 skill power. I believe that is because he has a few higher electronic rolls than myself, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Sage, in the comment section, that you have either your mask or your backpack rolling skill power. So you can do that, but I personally find that it just takes too long to kill things. You know, I want a good support build, but I also want to be effective in a team. So for me, keeping with damage to elites, enemy armor damage is definitely the way forward for a PvE standpoint. So that's your mask. Modifications on this one, again, prototype stamina mod, and I have an armor roll on this. Knee pads, back to the tacticians then, okay, so as you can see, the major attribute is armor, and again, I've gone for enemy armor damage in the minor attributes. This just helps keep you a little bit of DPS, okay, although you don't have the on-screen DPS number when you're playing endgame activities and you're facing off against elites. You will actually notice that I can kill them with this build just as quickly or almost as quickly as I can with my full DPS build. The reason for that is the damage to elites and the enemy armor damage are so high that I can still kill them as quickly. Now, there are other ways you can keep high DPS, but we will talk about those in a little bit. So 1262 is the main electronics value on this. As you can see, that makes 2 pieces of gear spec to electronics. Now, I have a prototype stamina mod with armor on as the main attribute, and the prototype performance mod is plus 3.5% turret damage. Now, there are a few different ways that you can go with the prototype performance mods. You can either A, go for maximum damage by rocking out as high a percentage on each performance mod in all 4 mod slots of turret damage. This will sit you at about the 10,000 damage mark on your turrets. Or, because the turrets take a lot of aggro from the AI, you can actually rock turret health, means they're going to last an awful lot longer. So it entirely comes down, this part of it comes down to how you like to play and whether you want your turret to last longer or whether you would like it to do more damage. Personally, I have gone for damage because I can keep my turret active for quite a while anyway, and with the skill build that's here, with the skill haste, the high skill power, I generally tend to find that I have my turret back before it's dead, so it doesn't matter too much. And if it's not back by the time the first one's been, you know, KIA'd, then I find that it's only a few seconds I've got to wait. So for me, it's all about turret damage. Now, let's move on to the backpack. The backpack has armor, major attributes. Now again, I would like ammo capacity on here. I don't have it, so that is another way to kind of mid-max your gear. 1238 on the electronics roll. Now again, you could roll skill power here and increase the skill power even more, but the way things are currently, 1.5 world tier 5 armor is definitely the way to go. If we look at the mods, again, you can see I'm on a stamina mod, 253 armor. Now, I have a prototype performance mod here of turret health at 7.5% and turret damage. But I do carry these with me. So I carry more turret health, I carry turret damage, turret health, turret damage, okay? The reason I carry these is because I like to swap out on the fly. If I'm playing with Sage and he's running his turret, he will concentrate on, say, damage. I will concentrate on health so that we always have one up and things like that. So, yeah, I just like to keep the mods with me so I can change up on the fly. Moving to the gloves, again, these are rolled to electronics, 1245 to be precise. I have LMG damage, damage to elites, and health on kill. Now again, I highly recommend that you run damage to elites. I also recommend that you run an LMG with this build. Now the reason for that is obviously you are, as a skill build, very low on DPS. LMGs have the damage to targets out of cover increase as their unique talent. So yeah, highly recommend running it. You're going to be doing a lot more damage with an LMG as if you are, say, an assault rifle or an SMG with a skill build. So yeah, that's my gloves. Finally then, we have the holster. Now my holster is, again, Firecrest. It's 1263 firearms, 1191 stamina, 1138 electronics with an armor roll on them. When it comes to the prototype performance mod, I am running turret duration. That is actually the wrong one. I don't want that on. This is because I was playing around with a few builds earlier. I actually want turret damage on that one, okay? So I have 3 of turret damage, 1 of turret health. Just gives me, you know, a nice balance between killing AI and it staying up long enough to kill the AI. So yeah, that is the build. Let's quickly go over to the character, okay? I want to show off just what the kind of stats are like. So as you can see, my damage to elites is plus 34%. My enemy armor damage is 19.5%. There is 4% health on kill from the glove. So the stats aren't actually too dissimilar to like my alpha bridge build or anything like that is dedicated to DPS, other than the fact my primary DPS is about 150 to 200,000 lower. You know, when I'm actually playing endgame, I take their armor down as quick, I take the damage to elites into account, so it kills them quicker. The only difference is I can't activate destructive because I don't have high enough firearms. I only have ferocious active, which is where the damage to elites come from, and also why my enemy armor damage is so low. So we've covered what I'm running, we've covered what's rolled to the gear. How do you maximize your damage as a skill build in terms of weapon talents, because you can't activate too many? As you can see, I'm at 6,844 electronics, I'm at 5,000 stamina, 2,823 firearms. Doesn't mean I can activate a lot of talents. Now there are 2 ways in which you can do this. You can run an assault rifle and an LMG. The LMG giving you the damage to targets out of cover. The assault rifle giving you the enemy armor damage. You can use the assault rifle to take the shields down because of the built-in enemy armor damage, then you can swap out to your LMG and get the target out of cover damage and kill them a lot quicker. That does work, and I do use it, but what I do is I pick my weapon talents very carefully. So I have a Pacan here, and as you can see, 3,832 is the requirement to activate Destructive. There is no way I am hitting that without dropping my toughness down to about 200,000, and that is just not a viable means of play when in World Tier 5. So I have gone for Ferocious. Now, not only have I gone for Ferocious in the third slot on the Pacan, you know, it is already there, so you could go and buy this weapon and use it with this build very nicely, but I've also gone with my tactical ACR. The damage against elite and named enemies is increased by 10%. Now, this will allow you to have extra DPS in endgame, okay? Yes, when you're facing red bar enemies or purple enemies, you won't kill them as quickly as if you were against elites, but that is obviously where you spec into kind of end game activity more so than anything else. Now, there are a few other ways in which you can mid-max this build, guys, so let's take a look at it. If we go over to our talents, you will see I am running Adrenaline. Use a medkit when not at full health to receive an overheal. Use this several times when playing with this build, mainly because I forget that I'm not a DPS build and I can't just push up on the enemy and find myself getting rather low on health pretty quickly. But these are the two important ones, okay? We have tech support first. The description for this is kill a hostile while any skill is deployed to extend any active skill duration by 10%. Now, this is really, really important. This allows you to not run turret duration on any of your mod slots. It allows you to spec into either turret health or turret damage. Now, you can pretty much keep a turret up indefinitely if you're killing quick enough, okay? You will see from the footage at the beginning, and I'll try to put some on later on, or from the video you guys watched earlier when I actually talked about this build, you know, part 1, you will see that I managed to keep the turret alive by killing things, so it is a nice way of keeping your skills active. The next must-have talent is Wildfire. Applying burn to any target triggers a 30% chance to apply the effect to all targets within 10 meters. Now, again, this is very, very useful because you have the extended range on the turret now as the 3-piece bonus, and the damage. It helps if you can apply that burn to other targets. So, if you're rocking this build, guys, you want to mid-max it. Don't just concentrate on your stats. Concentrate on your weapon talents and your player talents as well. Now, the fourth final talent I would tell you to run is Precision. Headshot a hostile to pulse them for 10 seconds. Now, the reason I say use this is because you are running very high skill power. If we come back out and look at our abilities, you will see our pulse has a crit hit chance of 24%, crit hit damage of 32%, okay? That counts when using the talent Precision, okay, because you are pulsing them. Now, while this doesn't affect the rest of your team, it is making the most of your skill power and giving you, again, more higher DPS and able to kill things a lot quicker. And I've got to be honest, guys, I think that's probably going to about wrap the video up. So, yeah, make sure you're checking your talents, make sure you're checking your weapon talents, make sure you're checking your abilities, make sure to roll yourself stamina pretty much as all of your mods to get your toughness higher. You want to be specking 4 pieces of gear as the main stat to electronics, 1 gear to stamina, and obviously your holster is all 3. And yeah, that is my build, guys. You guys have seen it in action earlier. I'm sure you will see it in action on stream a little bit more because I kind of do like playing it, and I think I am going to hang on to this build on my second character just to have some fun with. Now, as always, guys, I'd love you to leave your comments in the section down below. Smash that thumbs up button if you like the video. Make sure to share it about. Give it some love. You know, I think this is a very good support build. Again, I want to take my hat off to Orangi Eero Sage because he's the one that has put the time and effort into mid-maxing this build. You know, he swapped the talents around. He swapped all the stats about. And between him rocking that and me running with the DPS build and being able to, you know, make a few tweaks and changes myself, I think we've come up with a really nice and viable support option that also gives you the ability to do good damage in end game activities. So yeah, share this about, guys, show it some love. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. There's plenty more Division videos coming your way. And as always, agents, thank you very much for watching. Until the next video, I'll catch you all soon.